Hello Courserians, it's Doug Summers, composer in Ottawa, Canada, coming back at you with week 3's lesson. This one is about creating a submix. So in this particular piece I've got, as you can see, a lot of tracks here. It's orchestral, and what I want to do is actually have a listen to the woodwinds. So let's just go into the mixer view here, and I've got things kind of color coded, as you can see. Strings, brass, woods, and then some cymbals and various percussion instruments. So what I want to do is create a submix for all of these tracks down here, which are all woodwinds, flutes, clarinets, etc. And the submix is going to take the outputs of all of these and put them into one single track so that I can both control the volume on that track with a single fader, as opposed to going in here and controlling the volume independently on each one of these as well. Instead of having to go and say put a EQ insert on each one of these tracks, I can put an overall EQ for the entire woodwind section, again on one track, so that saves CPU. So let's take a look at how we do that. Well, right now all of these are set to the stereo out. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set those to a bus. And this bus is going to be a common connector which takes all of those and puts them into a new track. So I'm going to select all of the woodwinds here, and I'm going to change this to, instead of being stereo output, I'm going to use bus 3 in this particular case. And they all go to bus 3. And then I'm going to go down here into options, and I'm going to label bus 3 as, there we go, woods mix, or maybe I should call it submix. Oops, there we go. And now they all say wood submix. And then if we look over here, we'll see that Logic has added a bus 3, which is now where all of those things are going. It's got its own fader. And just to see if that's actually working, we're just going to play a little bit of this middle section. And I'm going to solo what's happening in bus 3. There's the woodwinds all by themselves, and I can bring them down, I can bring them up, so I've got full control over all of them. And the other thing which I'd like to do then now is for all of those, as I say, I'm going to put an EQ. Click on that, there we go. And let's try adding a little bit of a bump around, say 2200 Hertz. Give that a listen and see how it sounds. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to just rename this down here to woodwinds so that we know that we've got a track here which represents the woodwinds submix. Take the solo off and let's see how that sounds. So bring the woods up a little bit because I think they're a little bit weak compared to the brass. So there we go. We have taken all of the outputs from these 4 channels, and instead of routing it to the main output, we've routed it into a submix, which we've called woodwind submix, which goes on to bus 3. Bus 3 over here is that entire submix, and I've added some EQ into it. I could put in additional reverb, although I don't need it in this particular case because all of these samples are recorded in an actual hall and have reverb from the hall already added. And then that bus 3 now then goes to the stereo out and gets mixed in with everything else. So I hope that helps with all of you folks that want to be able to set up a submix, and shows you why you'd use it, how you'd use it, and what you can do with it. We'll talk to you again next week. Take care.